believe I saw Faye Lyons. Yeah, Faye, you missed your spot, but we'll come back to you.
Good morning. My name is Faye Lyons and I'm here on behalf of CAA South Central Ontario's over 1.8 million members. Thank you for the opportunity to comment on the staff report regarding the Bikeway Network 2001 update that's before you today. CAA South Central Ontario's members are motorists, transit users, cyclists, and pedestrians. In fact, again this year, we have supported the city by executing on bike safety education and awareness campaigns through our Watch for Bikes program. Today, my comments reflect safety concerns for all road users as we share Toronto's road network. Recent CAA member survey results show that our members continue to be concerned about collisions between bikes and cars. Our members also communicated the need for infrastructure that supports safer roads, such as separated bike lanes. 55% of the members surveyed believe that traffic incidents and injuries between bikes and cars have been on the rise. And when asked what were the most important reasons why more traffic incidents are occurring between bikes and cars, 65% said that a lack of adequate infrastructure for bikes and cars was the major cause. Specifically, a lack of dedicated bike lanes and not enough distinction between bike lanes and car lanes. Based on the feedback we received from our members, CAA supports dedicated bike lanes where Toronto's infrastructure can safely accommodate. Last summer, I was here speaking about the Bikeway Network and at that time encouraged this committee to set out criteria for transportation services when reviewing proposals. I'm glad to see that the city is moving in this direction. CAA believes that before any proposals to be considered as a transportation policy in the city, it should meet the following criteria. Does it improve mobility for all road users? Does it improve safety on Toronto streets? And does it improve our environment? We are encouraged that the city will be conducting further study, in-depth assessment, and consultation as part of the process leading up to a recommended bikeway solution for the city. Taking this necessary time to do the studies, communicate, and consult with the constituents is a positive step and should be conducted regardless of the administration or councillor of the day. As noted in this report, Toronto's roads are markedly narrower than other jurisdictions in North America. We recognize the challenges Toronto faces when trying to achieve a multimodal transportation system in a very developed core. The targets must be real, achievable, and driven by process. CAA supports the direction staff has outlined in this report, the recommendation that a comparable consultation and design process to that being used by the City of Ottawa be initiated to evaluate, develop, and implement bicycle lanes in the city would be a positive step. This process would help to ensure future proposals improve safety, the environment, and benefit all road users. And any such consultation and design process should include a comprehensive technical study. It is important that we watch and learn from Ottawa's model, being that it is in Ontario and a consistent climate to ours. As a stakeholder representing over 1.8 million members, we look forward to working with the city and other stakeholders on cycling and other transportation policies. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry, how many members did you say you had?
1.8.
1.8 million?
Yes.
1.8 million. And those are principally people who've signed up for your towing service, is that correct?
Not necessarily. We have a membership that serves travel. We have a lot of member benefits to our membership.
It's things like travel and towing service that people sign up for. You don't go out and promote yourself as an advocacy organization and encourage people to join to be part of your advocacy. I've never seen that. Do you do that?
Absolutely, yes. We have. We promote our advocacy services. Absolutely.
But you recruit on that basis. You send out mailings to people saying, "We want to advocate on behalf of car drivers. Please join our organization for a fee."
I think from our data, our members are joining for many member benefits, not just towing, but towing is definitely one of them.
Towing. My partner is a CAA member because she wants the towing service. She's never been surveyed on any of the questions you just described. Do you ask your members these things, or you just do some polling, or what do you do?
We do general polling across both national and both in club jurisdictions. So she's just one of the 1.8 that hasn't been surveyed. But
how many have been surveyed?
Well, we follow statistically. We work with polling companies.
Like 300, 600, 1,000?
Well, the one that I'm referring to, I'd have to get back to you on that number, but it was a very, very large poll that actually
It'd be less
conducted.
than 2,000 people.
No, it definitely would be more, because what it is our national office does polling, and then we break it down per jurisdiction.
So the sample size in Toronto
Absolutely.
would be less than 2,000 people, wouldn't it?
In Toronto, I'd have to get back to you, but it's a large poll.
So it would be a gross exaggeration to say that anything like 1.8 million people endorse any of the comments you made today.
No, I think when we, as an association, we survey our members, we poll our members, we do our due diligence when it comes to policies that impact our members.
Well, I look forward to my spouse actually receiving any request from you to represent her this way.
Great.
Thank you.
Councillor Vaughan, guest of the committee.
I'm curious about your criteria for assessing transportation projects. Does it improve mobility for all road users? And I'm just curious as to how you measure pedestrian comfort.
Well, I suspect that, are you talking about sidewalks? Are there adequate sidewalks for pedestrians?
Pedestrian mobility also involves crossing the street. So how do you measure pedestrian mobility in your assessments?
Well, I think there's a lot of technologies that the city has improved on, which is the countdown signals. There's, I think, a number of improvements, that being one of them, that we supported.
Okay, and when there are more people on the streets not using cars, did your organization support their mobility needs being met?
When there's more people on the streets not using cars?
For example, the road capacity of Pickett Street, Richmond, is what it is. If there is an increase of residential development along Richmond, people therefore increase in terms of number of pedestrians on Richmond Street. And with that come other uses that accompany an increase in residential development along major arterial roads. When that happens, are you an advocate for wider sidewalks when there are more people?
You know, I think when it comes to any transportation policy, and this goes beyond even a bikeway network, as an association, we advocate for improved transit. We have a growing population in this city. So we need to take into account, which I was trying to reflect in my deputation, the needs for all road users that include pedestrians.
Right.
What I'm also trying to make clear in my deputation is the real necessity for process and the necessity to look at staff for their recommendations. You know, it doesn't, if you look at the report, there's 2 bike lanes that, because 2 councillors wanted them in last administration, they were in, now they're being pulled out. That's not really doing due diligence, and that was what I was saying last summer when I was here, is it's very important that we do the community consultation. I'm happy to be part of that stakeholder group that actually reaches out to our members in that area. We need to actually do our due diligence to find out what the best solution is, so we're not putting things in and then taking them out. So when you're asking me to do, comment on something specific, I have to be more general, because I actually do rely on city staff. I think they do a very good job, and I think we also have to look to them to what the answers are.
But I guess the point is this: is that street widths, building face to building face, are more or less set in stone, literally set by stone.
Yes.
If there is an increase in population in an area, and car use doesn't change, how do you accommodate the increase of other modes of transportation without taking away space from cars?
Well, what they have in this report is redesigning. A lot of it is redesigning according to the use. Right. So there's a lot that's not necessarily taking away traffic capacity, absolutely, but it's being able to redesign the road. I think that's key. And again...
So you support the rebalancing of roads to meet the way in which people use them, either by car, by cycle, or by foot?
Absolutely.
Great, thanks.
Councillor Shiner, and then Councillor Parker, and then Councillor Lee.
Faye, I know you do a lot more than just tow. And when you tow, it isn't a very long tow you get for free anyway. I think it's only 10 kilometers.
Tires too.
It's our fixed tires or give boosts in the winter time, so people know you for that. But you have a newsletter. How often does that go out?
We have a quarterly magazine that goes out every quarter.
And online, how often do you send out to your members?
We have on e-letter, we have 400,000 members that apply to our e-letter, and they get communicated once every 2 months.
And you keep them informed of your work and your position on these issues?
Absolutely.
You get comments?
Yes.
Many?
Yes.
And those comments would be regarding cycling and cyclists on the streets, is one of them?
Yes.
And pedestrians on the streets?
Yes.
And increased congestion?
Yes.
So you'd have a good understanding of what your membership position is?
Absolutely.
You survey them as well?
Yes.
How often?
Club, we at least do it once a year. Nationally, we do it twice a year.
So, do you know anybody that keeps in contact as much with motorists, and I'm not trying to promote your organization, but as you do to get their opinion on what's transpiring?
No, I don't.
When it comes to more condominiums, which was the question my colleague asked, or more development in the downtown, there's more pedestrians. Are there more cars?
Yes.
And more traffic?
Yes.
You get more complaints?
Yes.
I don't know other questions.
Councillor Park.
I'm fine, thanks.
Councillor Lee.
I had just a quick question on this idea of improved mobility and what in fact that constitutes. If staff did an investigation of a potential or a real bike lane on a road and they concluded that it did not have a significant adverse effect on the traffic operations or parking situation on that particular road, with the significant safety improvement that would be made by the bike lane and relatively or non-existent adverse effect on the flow of traffic or parking, would you conclude, or in the improved mobility, with that as an idea, would you conclude that that was in fact an appropriate place for a bike lane?
Yes.
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 Are you aware that the two of the lanes in particular that are being considered here are in fact of that nature?
Which lanes are you referring to?
Pharmacy Avenue and Birchmount Road both had staff have concluded in both that they do not have a significant adverse effect on traffic operations and parking.
But they didn't do the community consultation.
I'll leave it at the conclusion of a bike lane that's actually in operation right now has concluded no adverse effects. Thank you.
Okay, and I just will add that I did say community consultation too. That's really key as well.
I was gonna ask, but my wife's a member, but would it shock you that she was surveyed? But never mind.
William McDonald.
It would shock me as to her answers.
William McDonald.